Still a few things up in the air. Still not the same as I normally am, but hey guys, welcome to Wild Hope Homestead. It's the weekend and it is a glorious spring day today, which is not going to last, so I'm going to try and make the most of it. It's the first day of the holidays, school holidays, homeschool holidays, which is nice, and I've got a bunch of things to get done outside. Steve's already mowed the lawn and he's been line trimming. He's done the veggie garden paths, which is nice. Angus has been tidying up some of his stuff too. Oh yes. Hello. I finally had all the results back from my gastroscopy, which took a little while. One of the best bits of news is I don't have celiac disease, which is a big relief, because I always wondered when I had issues with gluten if it was just causing me some problems or if it was actually damaging my body. So it's really nice to know for sure, and for the rest of the family's sake as well, we can cross that off the list. And I tested negative for H. pylori, which is the bad bacteria, so that is also really good news, because that's not something that can just be eradicated. That can cause you to be on a very restricted diet, and yeah, that's not something you want at all, so that's good. My disaccharidase testing also showed that I have enough enzymes to be able to digest wheat, dairy and sugars, which is very interesting and good. The biopsies from my duodenum, one of them was normal and one of them did show some inflammation, which has a long list of things apparently that it could be from, including just the gastritis issues that I've got at the moment. I don't know if it did have anything to do with the roundworms, but various other things. So I guess there's still some unknowns there. So most of that's good news. I've been given a follow-up appointment with the specialist, but frustratingly that's not until December, so almost 3 months away, which seems rather long to wait, especially if there's things that still need to be investigated. So I don't know, but anyway, at the moment we know the main issue is my esophageal sphincter between the esophagus and the stomach is not closing like it should, and letting acidic gas up into my esophagus, which causes inflammation, pain, and so that's what I'm on the medication for, to reduce the acid in my stomach, so there's less acid coming up and causing inflammation. I'm on another medication as well now, which helps me digest the food, because the first medication was causing me a lot of pain, a lot of stomach pain, just up and down. That was really not fun at all. So with the new medication as well, I'm able to eat quite a bit more, which is good, and less pain. So I'm feeling better than I was before, which is great. I'd still like to be able to eat more and be able to eat all the nice old things that I could eat, but we'll just have to see how we go. And then the second thing is that bit of inflammation in my duodenum, so still a few things up in the air, still Not the same as I normally am, but better than I was. The other thing is, with the disaccharidase information about lactose and wheat, I do have reasons to experiment with those now, slowly and one at a time, and carefully. So that means I shouldn't have lactose intolerance at the moment. So what I'm doing is slowly, because the kids, well, Scarlett's had issues. Both the kids have had some issues with dairy as well. Angus has a little bit at the moment, but Scarlett hasn't been having any most of the time. So us three are slowly going to be introducing dairy over the next 6 weeks. Sort of going off a little bit of the milk challenge ladder that they use for milk allergies, reintroducing milk for kids. Birds dropping from the tree. There are a bunch of milk ladders that you can find online, which are really for people, particularly children with milk allergies, to reintroduce milk slowly and in increasing amounts to see what can be tolerated. So we don't need to be that strict because we're not dealing with an allergy, but just taking it slow to give us our best shot. So last night I made some carrot and raisin muffins, and I put a little bit of cow's milk in there. And so for morning tea today, Scarlett and Angus and I have all had a mini muffin with a little bit of milk in. So for the next week, it's going to be baking with a little bit of milk in it and slowly increase it a bit more each day. Next week will be something like a meal with a bit more milk or cheese in it, or butter, something like that, a bit more, and just slowly increasing it until we can try actual milk on its own, but we're not there yet. And we're going to see how that goes. I came over here to get away from the mower noise. Then now there's a chicken. Everyone's mowing their lawns all of a sudden because the weather has warmed up and the grass and the daisies are actually starting to grow more. Also, we've had quite a bit of rain this week. What was I saying? So we're going to slowly increase our intake of milk, things with milk or milk products in them, and see how our bodies go. I'm anticipating, this is something we probably should have done a while ago, or at least I should have done, but I don't know. I don't know how these things work, and if the doctor doesn't take intolerance issues seriously or tell you should try things or do anything about it, then it seems like avoiding it's the best thing to do, but apparently that's not always the case. So I'm anticipating Angus is probably going to handle it the best. I did find that I could start to handle more milk products after I stopped having gluten and yeast some years ago, but then I was trying to get pregnant with Scarlett and then getting pregnant, and I didn't want to mess with anything, and I couldn't tell because I had, various pregnancy symptoms. It was hard to tell what was what, so I just put dairy on the shelf and just kind of forgot about it because I'm so used to not having it in my diet. It's easy to substitute, so it's something I've been dealing with since my early to mid-20s, so I'm not entirely sure whether my issue is lactose intolerance or if it's something to do with the milk protein or an interaction with yeast or something else in my body that makes it give me intolerance symptoms. So it'll be interesting to see. Scarlett will be interesting. She has had little bits of dairy before. Last time she had cow's milk was actually when we were in Malaysia. This was after we were all feeling better from our food poisoning and we went out for a meal. I think it was one of the last few nights we were there. We were having dinner out and Angus's meal came with a carton of chocolate milk, and I think Milo or something, which is quite big over there. And somehow I didn't realise, I didn't even click with him that it was cow's milk. I guess I was just so tired and recovering from the sickness, very drained and just not thinking straight. I'm usually really careful about food things, but anyway, he was pretty much okay, but Scarlett had some of it, which somehow I don't know how I missed that, but during the night she threw up. And initially we were like, oh no, now she's got the food poisoning, but it was just once, and then I suddenly realised, much to my horror, that she'd had that chocolate milk the night before. Anyway, she was fine after that, but I definitely wasn't keen to give her milk products for a while, so we're doing it slowly this time. Got multiple things going on here on the table. These are my microgreens, or baby greens, that I sowed in the big tray 2 weeks ago. So we've got the spinach winter giant on the side there. I need to water them. Some of those have come up. We've got the red pak choi, a whole bunch of those have come up, little forest. And the perpetual spinach beets, my giant packet of seeds, have come up very nicely. So I'm going to be eating some of those soon. I pulled them out of the cold frame because they were starting to get a bit leggy. They're doing better out here with some more airflow and light. Same thing with these the little tray of lettuces. They're doing well. The spinaches that I planted in the 6-cell pack are actually doing better than the ones in the tray. Possibly because I've had them in this little propagator with the lid on. The peas are doing well and getting bigger. I've been reluctant to plant more in the garden since my first lot I planted have been a bit eaten by slugs and snails. The baby leaf lettuces here they've been used a lot by me. They're looking like I need to feed them, but they're also they only last for so long. The microgreens are doing better now. Tomatoes are doing well, and peppers. I've been feeding them with some seaweed fertiliser to help get them going. The sweet alyssum down the back are doing well. Actually, the coriander in the grey trays, I need to pull those out. Those could be planted at that stage, but I might let them get a little bit bigger, but I'll pull them out so they can get stronger in the air out here. I've also got another tray of spinach here, which I think was a different variety. I haven't written it down. Basil, some of the basil's starting to pop up. And celery in there. Onions have done absolutely nothing. I covered them with some seed raising mix, but they have not done anything. I've got a bunch of lettuce seeds here. Some of these are getting a bit old, so actually all of these were sowed by January 2023, which was 2.5 years ago. So that's alright, they're not as bad as some seeds. I was going to sow, there's still quite a few in here actually. I was going to sow more lettuce seeds in another big tray, like the one I've got on the table, but then I thought I don't really want to keep having the table covered up with big trays like that, because then we can't use the table for, you know, eating, or housing all the other young seedlings that I'm getting started for spring. So I actually suddenly realised that I had wanted to get some more hanging planters to go above the ones that have got strawberries in them now. And I thought that would be a great place for lettuces to go. So this is going to be another stash of baby leaf lettuces, and I'm probably sowing way too many, but I'm not sure how well these are going to do since they are a bit older, so that's fine. Just putting heaps in here. And this way we can have a nice supply of baby leaf lettuce right outside the door. Now it's quiet and peaceful. This is the first part of this day's vlog. It was getting a little bit long because I realised I hadn't done a health update, which I meant to do sooner. So we're going to finish this one here and then carry on with the rest of this day's vlog next time, because we're working on a DIY project and that needs its own vlog. Thanks for joining us in today's vlog, guys. Choose to grow hope, and we'll see you next time. Bye.